Hello?
The wilderness is indifferent to human life, and one wrong turn can be fatal. We look at a freezing tragedy near the summit of Austria's highest peak, a camping trip that ended in a double murder on a California beach, and a hunter intimidated on public land. How safe are you really when you venture off the path? A hiker moved deeper into the forest when he noticed something out of place. One tree stood apart from the others, its trunk bent and twisted into an unnatural shape. There were no signs of cutting or tool marks, and every surrounding tree was straight and healthy. It appeared as if the tree had been forced into position by intense pressure. Some believe damage like this can result from storms, heavy snow, or long-term stress on the wood, but that explanation feels incomplete. This was the only tree in the area twisted so severely, while everything around it remained undisturbed. Others suggest it may have been done intentionally, pointing to theories involving large animals or even Bigfoot using twisted trees as markers. With no clear proof, the real cause remains unclear. Do you think nature alone could do this, or was something else involved? While hiking alone in the Courthouse Wash area of Arches National Park, a man stepped onto what seemed like solid ground, but it suddenly collapsed. One leg sank deep into wet sand that tightened as he struggled, and within minutes, he was trapped and unable to free himself. As temperatures fell and the sun began to set, the danger increased. Spending the night exposed in the desert cold was not an option, so he activated his GPS satellite messenger and sent an emergency SOS. Search and rescue teams responded quickly, using a drone to locate him. When rescuers arrived, the sand kept sliding back into the hole as they dug, making the rescue difficult. After nearly 2 hours, they freed him. He was cold and exhausted but unharmed. Park officials later warned that quicksand can form in desert washes after moisture builds up, and emphasize carrying emergency devices, because the ground is not always as stable as it appears. This incident shows how fast a simple hike can become dangerous in desert environments. Would you have expected quicksand to be a real risk in a place like this? A man was exploring an abandoned building in a wooded area when he suddenly heard loud screams coming from below. He tried to find the source with his phone camera but could not see anything that could have made the sounds. After he posted the clip online, reactions were mixed, with some suggesting a skinwalker and others questioning whether the audio had been added later. Unexplained sounds like this often leave room for doubt about what was real and what was edited. Do you think this recording captured something genuine, or was it altered afterward? A woman living near a wooded area stepped outside one night to photograph her yard, aiming the camera toward the tree line to show how far her outdoor lights reached. When she reviewed the image, she noticed a faint face that became even clearer after the photo was brightened. No one online has been able to explain it, not even as a camera glitch or optical illusion, leaving people to question whether something was really there or if the camera revealed something the eye could not see. Céline Crémet, a Belgian woman, was last seen on the 17th of June, 2023, in Waratah, Tasmania. She had planned a short walk at Philosopher Falls, but never returned the following day. Police later found her car at the trailhead, and despite large searches using helicopters, drones, and ground teams, no sign of Céline was found. Harsh winter conditions and rough terrain made survival very unlikely. The case stayed cold for over 2 years, until December 2025, when a privately organized search discovered a mobile phone confirmed to be hers. The phone was found in an area already searched, suggesting she may have left the marked trail, possibly using a phone app and becoming disoriented. Authorities have now joined the renewed search, as the phone provides the first real clue in years and a fragile hope for answers, leaving many to wonder how she went off course and whether this discovery will finally explain what happened. One afternoon, this person was out for a walk when they noticed an unusual sight in the sky. Several striking clouds stood out overhead, drawing attention as something didn't look quite normal. 2 disc-like shapes appeared within the clouds, facing opposite directions and tilted away from each other. Their unusual shape and color led many viewers to speculate about secret aircraft, or even an otherworldly presence. Experts, however, point to a natural explanation. Lenticular clouds can form when moist air flows over mountains, creating smooth, lens-shaped formations that often look unfamiliar or artificial at first glance, which explains why scenes like this can spark debate and leave people wondering how often natural clouds are mistaken for something unknown. This short video was shared online by a hiker who claims it may be the clearest Bigfoot footage so far. The clip shows a large, dark, hair-covered figure sitting calmly on a fallen tree in a dense forest, showing no reaction to the camera. Visible details include long arms, a broad chest, thick fur, and a face that appears partly human and partly primate. The video was reportedly filmed near the Little River in Alabama, a remote and heavily wooded area. Whether the figure is real or staged remains debated, leaving viewers to wonder what the camera truly captured. A hunter was using a trail camera in a forest during the fall season when it unexpectedly recorded something unusual. The footage shows two dark, upright figures moving through the trees, with only their outlines visible as the camera remains fixed. Because of the poor clarity and lack of context, the footage does not confirm what the figures are. And with no follow-up information available, it leaves the question of what the camera actually captured. After spending a weekend in the woods, a group of friends stopped to take a final photo before leaving. They posed between the trees and, at the time, noticed nothing unusual. Later that night, while reviewing the image at home, they spotted an unexpected detail: a grayish figure with glowing eyes standing next to them. They were certain no one had been there, as it had only been the two friends and the photographer, raising the question of whether someone was hidden nearby or if the camera captured something else entirely. One morning, a couple was walking their dogs through a local forest known for strange stories. The woman's partner took a photo of her on the trail, and nothing seemed unusual at the time. Later, when they reviewed the image, they noticed something disturbing. A person was walking behind them, someone they had not seen before the photo was taken, coming from a direction that would have taken hours to walk. As the figure drew closer, her face was not visible and appeared covered by a black hood, moving in a slow and deliberate way. Feeling uneasy, they decided to leave, but when they turned back, the figure was gone. With open trails and a rocky drop nearby, they still do not know who or what they encountered, or how someone could disappear so quickly. What do you think they really saw that morning? This remarkable meteor crater is located in northern Arizona. It spans nearly 1 mile across and descends more than 500 feet deep. For many years, scientists believed it was formed by volcanic activity, but that view shifted in the 1960s when research confirmed the crater was created by an asteroid impact roughly 50,000 years ago. At the time of the impact, large prehistoric animals moved across the region. The collision released an estimated 10 megatons of energy, equal to more than 20 million tons of TNT. The blast instantly vaporized the asteroid, produced temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun, and sent shockwaves powerful enough to flatten everything for miles. It became the first place on Earth where an impact from outer space was scientifically proven, leading researchers to better understand how sudden cosmic events can reshape the planet. Could a similar impact happen again, and would we recognize the warning signs in time? This woman was walking along a forest trail late at night when she noticed something unsettling in the distance. 4 figures dressed completely in white could be seen, each appearing to wear some type of mask. Unsure who or what was out there, she quickly took a photo and left the area. Since the footage was later uploaded, it is clear she made it out safely. But whoever or whatever those figures were remains unknown, leaving open the possibility that it was a planned encounter or something far more unusual, and raising the simple question of why they were there at all. While hiking in Ethiopia, this person visited a place that seems almost impossible. In 2005, the ground there suddenly tore open, forming a massive crack that stretches nearly 35 miles across the landscape and continues to widen. The rift is located in the Afar region, where 3 major tectonic plates meet: the Nubian, Somalian, and Arabian plates. Beneath the surface, these plates are slowly pulling apart. The Arabian plate is separating the fastest, at about 1 inch per year, while the 2 African plates move more gradually. Over millions of years, this process could eventually form an entirely new ocean. Scientists classify the rift as an early-stage mid-ocean ridge, the same geological process responsible for creating today's oceans, raising the idea that this landscape shows Earth in the middle of reshaping itself and prompting the question of how different the planet might look in the distant future. The owner of the photo explained that both of his grandparents had passed away, and their former home is now abandoned and in poor condition. Recently, his uncle set up a trail camera on the property. The camera was programmed to take 3 photos each time it detected movement. On one occasion, a human-like figure appeared in only one of the 3 images, while the other 2 showed nothing out of the ordinary. At the time, no one was known to be at the house. Later, the camera's position and settings were checked and confirmed to be working normally, leaving the question of what this pale figure could have been, and whether it was something explainable or something far more unsettling. While hiking in the woods, a Reddit user spotted something terrifying that, from a distance, looked like a real body. They moved closer, expecting the worst, only to realize it was a life-size Santa mannequin. Relieved, they took a photo to show how disturbing it looked in the middle of the forest, proving how easily objects can seem frightening out of place. Would you have thought it was real at first glance too? This image was recorded in Galveston, Texas, in a largely deserted marshy area on the West End, and later shared online by an individual. It is a raw infrared trail camera photo taken around 2016 by the poster's neighbor. The image was never made public, appearing only on a private Facebook account, which gave the poster confidence that it was genuine. For years, the poster and their high school friends kept the photo, unsure of what they were seeing. Even after sharing it online, no clear explanation emerged, leaving one simple question. What do you think the camera actually captured? A Facebook user and her boyfriend stepped outside around 2 a.m. to take night mode photos of the northern lights. While he was standing there, he heard movement and shuffling behind him and assumed it was a deer. He turned and took a photo in that direction. Later, when they reviewed the image, they noticed something far more unsettling. Instead of an animal, the photo appeared to show a strange, distorted figure, something the user said resembled a skinwalker. She was quick to explain that there was usually nothing on the trampoline that could have caused this, as she saw it daily and had never noticed anything that could explain the shape captured in the image. Whatever it was, neither of them could account for it, and the photo left them deeply shaken, raising the possibility that the image captured a moment they were never meant to notice, and leaving the question of what was really standing there that night. A woman once took a cheerful photo, smiling at the camera, and everything felt normal until the image was developed. Just above her head, a strange, human-like figure appeared with a distorted face, turning a happy moment unsettling. What would you think if you found something like this in your own photo? A woman was taking photos of the forest for an art project when she later noticed something unsettling. After zooming in, a tall humanoid shape could be seen standing between the trees. The figure appeared to be covered in dark clothing. She stated that no other people were anywhere nearby at the time. Whoever was present remains unknown, leading to speculation about whether the figure could have been part of some kind of ritual or simply a staged hoax, and leaving the question of what was really standing in the forest that day. A group of paranormal investigators set out to explore a remote area in South Africa that locals claimed was haunted. They spent the night using cameras and audio recorders, hoping to capture something unusual. Around midnight, their investigation took a strange turn. They saw what appeared to be a young girl, but her body looked faint and almost transparent. Shocked and unsure of what they were seeing, they quickly packed up and left. Was it real, or did the darkness play tricks on their eyes? Somewhere deep in the desert near South Las Vegas, someone came across a truly unsettling sight. In the middle of nowhere stood an abandoned Chuck E. Cheese animatronic, completely alone. The surrounding area is mostly empty and is sometimes used for shooting practice. The animatronic appears damaged and heavily weathered, suggesting it had been left there for a long time. No confirmed details explain how or why it ended up in that location, but the scene gives off an undeniably creepy feeling, leaving people to wonder who left it there and for what reason. A man from British Columbia had recently bought a new phone with an infrared camera and began testing it by taking photos of his yard. And that was when one image caught his attention. In the photo, a strange figure appeared. Whatever was captured seemed humanoid, and was moving on all fours, but the image quality made it difficult to clearly identify what it was. The photo was later shared online by a friend, but no further details were ever given, leaving the question of what the camera captured and what was in the yard that night unanswered. Photographer Martin Alvarez was exploring a lava tube cave in Chile to document unusual mineral and clay formations when he noticed something moving in the distance. He quickly raised his camera and took several photos. The figure appeared low to the ground, dog-like, and moving on all fours. It did not resemble any known animal native to the area. Unsettled by what he saw, Alvarez chose not to continue deeper into the cave and left the site. He later reported the sighting in a nearby village. According to Alvarez, local residents reacted with concern rather than surprise, pointing to old legends tied to caves in the Patagonia region and stories of strange creatures said to live underground. What Alvarez encountered has never been officially explained, leaving people to wonder whether it was an unknown animal or something rooted in local folklore. These photos were taken by Arkady Tishkov, who estimated the figure shown to be about 1.4 meters tall, or roughly 4 feet 7 inches. Along with the original images, a second set of interpretive illustrations was later released based on the same material. The images quickly sparked debate, with some viewers saying the shape was simply a natural rock formation, while others linked it to older ideas like the so-called horned yeti. With no physical evidence ever confirmed, the photos remain unverified, leaving one question: what do you think the images actually show? A trail camera deep in the Missouri woods captured a strange image showing a hazy shape floating just above the ground. Some believe it was only a moth caught in motion, while others think it was something more. The camera was set on a small rock burial mound known for eerie stories, and the image still leaves people wondering what the camera really captured. This footage shows a hunter handling a captured baby moose, unprepared for what happened once the restraints were removed.
Here now. Come on, little girl. Hey! Oh, you're a mean little girl.
The animal reacted suddenly, catching him off guard. Fortunately, no serious injury occurred. Viewers later warned that removing the blindfold too soon was a mistake, and if this had been a full-grown moose, the outcome could have been much worse, leaving the question of how close this encounter came to turning deadly. In the winter of 2017, a Reddit user shared a photo of his younger sister from a winter camping trip when they were the only ones outside. Later, they noticed 2 faint figures in the image. One figure looked almost identical to his sister, suggesting a camera glitch, but the second figure did not resemble anyone present. The user believes it was probably a glitch, yet still has no explanation for that second shape, leaving the question of what the photo really captured. In 1967, a man named Harry Dack took a simple photograph in the backyard of his home in Carlton Howe. The image showed his grandson Neil smiling at the camera while holding the family Jack Russell, Kelly. At the time, nothing seemed unusual about the moment the photo was taken. When the film was developed, however, a faint gray, translucent figure appearing to be a woman was visible beside the child. Photo lab staff confirmed the negative had not been altered, and with no editing tools available then, they could offer no explanation. The identity of the so-called gray lady was never discovered, leaving the question of who, or what, appeared in the photo. A cave explorer shared unsettling footage from inside an unexplored cave system. As he moved through the tunnels, an unfamiliar sound suddenly appeared.
Hello? Oh my god. Fuck. I gotta go.
It did not match common cave noises, and no source could be seen on camera. The explorer believed it was not caused by wildlife and described it as humanoid, but not human. As the sound grew louder and seemed to move closer, the footage ended abruptly. Some believe the noise has a natural explanation, while others think something unknown may be living deep inside the cave. What do you think was making the sound? Earlier this year, on January 19th, experienced mountaineer Thomas Plamberger was guiding his girlfriend, Kirsten Gertner, up Austria's highest mountain, Grossglockner. At around 8:50 p.m., Roughly 150 feet from the summit, the pair became stranded in extreme winter conditions. Despite being the lead climber, no immediate emergency call was made at that moment. Thomas and Kirsten remained near the summit for several hours as conditions continued to deteriorate. By around 2 a.m., Kirsten was severely exhausted, hypothermic, and disoriented. At that point, Thomas decided to leave her behind and descend the mountain alone to seek help. Authorities later stated that Thomas had placed an emergency call earlier, around 1:35 a.m., approximately 30 minutes before leaving her. However, it was reported that he did not cover Kirsten with emergency blankets and that he placed his phone on silent shortly afterward. After continuing his descent, Thomas made another emergency call at around 3:30 a.m. By then, it was likely too late. Kirsten froze to death near the summit while alone. Thomas is now facing negligent homicide charges. His lawyer maintains that he is innocent, describing the incident as a tragic accident under impossible conditions. However, many people believe that someone with his level of experience would not have handled the situation this way, raising questions about his decisions. What do you think really happened on that mountain? A man was surprised when he checked footage from his trail camera and saw a pale figure moving through tall grass. The image was captured inside a privately fenced area where no one should have been. That detail only added to the mystery. To this day, he has never figured out what the camera recorded that night. Some think it was a visual illusion, while others find its presence there hard to explain. What do you think it was? Reddit user O.G. Cheddar Goblin shared a trail camera photo sent by a friend, taken by the friend's uncle's camera. The image shows a deer standing still, with a human-shaped figure directly behind it. The figure could be someone in a hoodie, but what makes it unsettling is how close it appears to the deer. Normally, a deer would react to something that near. The deer appeared in multiple images, but the figure showed up only once. Some think it was just a person, while others find the deer's lack of reaction strange. What do you think was behind it? A group of people were walking through the Arabian desert, an area that felt empty and completely silent. As they moved forward, they suddenly noticed something unusual ahead of them.
هذا ابو فانوس قاعد الحين صبح عاد هبي يلعب علينا نحن بك ما لعبت علينا بالليل فتلعب علينا صبح كان هدرنا الحين نصور هذا كذا اقبل علينا مدبر ذا الحين عليهم موتر مدبر هذا الحين اعطانا جهه
يلا بنجيك الحين جايين يا مسخره
مسكين يا عوينه خبل انك الحين خبلان الحق لا تكبس ولا شيء يا دام بس الله ما كان يبي يقرب منا ابي ديو يحب يعطينا مقفاه.
In the distance, a bright light appeared, standing out sharply against the dark, open landscape. The group stopped where they were and watched, unable to determine where the light was coming from or what could be producing it. After a short period of time, the light began to dim, slowly fading until it disappeared entirely. No clear explanation was ever found for what they witnessed that day. It may have been something natural, or it could have been caused by human activity far away. What do you think that light really was? In late autumn, Catman Outdoors and his friend Ryan were checking public hunting land when what was meant to be a normal evening hunt turned into an unsettling confrontation that ended up on camera. Ryan had trail camera images showing two large 9-point bucks frequenting this small section of public land. The plan was straightforward. Move in quietly before sunset, locate a deer crossing, and set up to wait. Ryan would take the shot while his partner recorded the hunt. They advanced slowly through the forest, tracking a group of red oaks toward the roadway where they believed the deer were passing. Several fresh sets of deer tracks confirmed they were in the right area, all following the creek bed. But as they started choosing a tree to climb, they noticed something that instantly made them uneasy.
Whatever you want to call it.
We can call the game warden out here if you want
I
to.
don't care.
This is hunter harassment. We came in here to hunt. It's legal to hunt in here.
I walk in here all the time.
Yeah, but you came up here straight to us and confronted us.
Well, I was walking down through here and not seeing y'all moving.
Moved what?
Moving what? Walking? You saw us walking?
Yeah, I seen your head over the creek bank there.
And why'd you come looking for us?
I didn't come looking for you. I was just back here walking.
Well, that's hunter harassment.
No, it's not.
Tell us we better not be shooting your deer.
I'm making a comment. I like my deer.
So what? They're wild animals.
Oh, they just crossed, by the way.
They probably did. You probably ran them all out of here.
No, they ran back over the other creek while I was in the other creek.
All right. Well, they'll be back.
Yeah, sooner or later.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna kill them all.
Well, that'd be hard to do.
Yep.
Yeah. You're on camera. This is hunter harassment. You need to get out of here or the game warden's going to be here in 20 minutes.
You've come back here twice now.
Get out of here. Bullshit. Get out of here. I'm calling the game warden.
Which house is he in?
That's a misdemeanor, right? Alright, this is one. And then, I'm going to do it.
They started picking up trash just a minute ago. It's probably going to be his excuse. He's supposed to call Ryan whenever he's available, but these people don't care. They live on the other side of the woods. Okay, he's walking back up the hill. Kind of zigzagging. I don't know if he's going anywhere or if he's just wandering around again. He's just out of sight up the hill.
On public land where hunting is completely legal, these hunters were gradually intimidated and pushed out by someone who seemed to believe the wildlife belonged to him, simply because his property bordered the area. The most troubling part is that this likely was not the first time he had acted this way, and it probably would not be the last. Looking at the situation, it appears to be a clear case of intimidation rather than a misunderstanding. Do you think incidents like this happen more often on public land than people realize? In November 2014, park staff at Great Basin National Park in Nevada found an old rifle leaning against a tree. It was identified as a Winchester Model 1873, made in 1882. Despite heavy rust, the serial number was still readable, and the wooden stock had turned gray from years of exposure. No one knows who left the rifle or why. There were no human remains, no campsite, and no signs explaining its presence. Experts later found one spent cartridge inside the stock, but none in the barrel. The park preserved the rifle as it was and put it on display, leaving its story a lasting mystery. On August 14, 2004, Lindsay Kochow, 22, and Jason Allen, 26, were traveling along the California coast near Jenner, California. The young couple was visiting from the Midwest and had been working together at a Christian summer camp. They were deeply religious, engaged, and only weeks away from getting married. That evening, after spending time exploring the area, they tried to find a motel for the night. When no rooms were available, they made a decision that would later prove fatal. They chose to sleep on Fish Head Beach, placing their sleeping bags directly on the sand beneath the open sky. Unbeknownst to them, a man named Sean Michael Gallen was driving along Highway 1 that same night. Gallen was suffering from severe mental illness and experiencing psychotic delusions. As he passed the beach, he noticed the couple sleeping in the open. Instead of driving on, he stopped his car, retrieved a firearm, walked down to the beach, and shot both Lindsay and Jason at close range while they slept. He then fled, leaving their bodies behind. For 4 days, the couple remained undiscovered. On August 18th, a sheriff's helicopter flying along the coastline spotted their bodies, still inside their sleeping bags. The discovery shocked the community and devastated both families. For years, the case remained unsolved despite evidence collected at the scene. The murders became one of Northern California's most haunting cold cases. More than a decade later, advances in DNA technology led to a breakthrough. In 2017, Sean Gallen was arrested and charged. Investigators determined he had been living with untreated schizophrenia at the time. In 2019, he was convicted and sentenced to 3 consecutive life terms without parole. Some believe this tragedy highlights how untreated mental illness can lead to unimaginable harm, while others focus on the heartbreaking consequences of a simple choice made in trust. Do you think this crime could have been prevented, or was it truly unpredictable? A Reddit user came across a spiral notebook lying alone in the middle of a desert. Inside were ordinary college notes, but the final page immediately stood out. It contained a heartfelt message expressing appreciation and love, thanking someone for being an important part of the writer's college life and memories. The message went on to say it was meant to share information about passwords, electronic devices, and people to contact. Beneath it was a list of names, along with references to accounts and devices. There was also a short section written in a noticeably different tone, listing 3 individuals connected to an incident with brief descriptions of their roles. Many people who saw the post believed the notebook could be a farewell message and urged the finder to contact authorities. In a follow-up update, the Reddit user explained that police took the notebook as evidence. Later, one of the listed contacts confirmed that the notebook's owner was alive and safe. In the end, it turned out to be nothing serious, but notifying authorities was still the right decision. What if it hadn't been? A Facebook user was hiking near an abandoned church ruin built in 1067, a site long rumored to be haunted. After taking several photos and leaving the area, they later noticed something strange in one image. A figure in what looked like a white dress appeared to be standing there, despite no one else being present at the time. The user said the photo was only zoomed and brightened, not altered, and believes it may show a ghost. Some think it could be light or shadow, while others disagree. What do you think it really was? That's all for tonight's video. Which encounter gave you chills? Let us know in the comments below. Got your own experience? We want to hear it. And whatever you do, don't miss what's coming next.